Thank you very much indeed. The church has been declared by the police as a crime scene following the shooting that actually took place here on Friday. As you can see on your shot now, we are just on the foot of the mountain where the church is located, right at the base of this mountain. What you saw there, it's the writings that have been put up by the church, which actually put out what they believe in as the church. We are now outside of the church here in this village, Engcobo. We have a pleasure of being joined by one of the leaders of the church, Mr. Banele Mancoba, who is going to talk to us about the church. So thank you very much for joining us. It's really a pleasure. On Friday, a tragedy happened inside the premises of your church, where the police came and 7 people got shot and killed, 3 of which were your brothers and members of the church. How is the family holding up about this?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult because we didn't, in fact, I didn't expect anything like that can happen in our church. And then the approach of the police was very rough. I thought they knew some information which is I don't know. Based on being a leader of the church, people, they like to sideline you with the information that you're being straight towards other things. So honestly speaking, I didn't know that the police are coming. But on Thursday evening, I heard that Thandazile, one of my brother who passed away, he is the one who caused the scene in the police station in Engcobo. Then I was doing my investigation, but according to my schedule, I was busy with other people, so I couldn't manage to get full information. And then when I came back on Friday evening, I went to town normally and buy things for my children. It was very late, and then I came back at around about 8 o'clock evening, and then we watched movie with my children. I mean, Isbaya. What happened is the other guy came in the house and said to me, look, there are police outside, they are shooting. And then the only thing that it was amazing, they went straight to Thandazile's place where he came and live on it. So it was very painful because I had to run. Yeah, I told my wife to take my children, I'm gonna run. So I jumped out of the window and I ran. Yeah.
Now, the police say they found weapons inside your church. I mean, how did it happen that the church would have weapons?
It should be Thandazile who brought them, but I was not aware of it. I was not aware of it, but according to my investigation that I did, and he had weapons before, and then he was working with a gang, I don't know which gang or what. We even said to him last year in 2016 at the end that he must no longer live here. So he was not living here in our place. He lived at my grandfather's place, so he was not staying with us.
So Thandazile is one of your
He's one
brothers?
of the 7 angels, yes. He's one of us, yes.
Right. Is he part of the leadership of the church?
He was indeed, but we demoted him because of his doing. And he misled people.
He's the one who is implicated in the killing of the 5 police officials?
Yes, he's the one, yes.
Now, the church now has been described by the police as a crime scene because they suspect that it's being used as a hideout, as a place where criminals come and hide after committing crimes around here. What do you say on that?
The church will never be a place like that. We praise God as any other church, but in any church there are differences, there are many challenges. But this one was very disappointing. We didn't expect this at all. And my other 2 brothers died for nothing. Philile Mancoba as well as Xolisa Mancoba. And Philile, he was shot on his hand, and then he stabbed himself with a sword. So he killed himself after he was shot. He said, God, what are you doing to me? So he stabbed himself.
Now, let's talk about the church itself. I mean, there's been a lot of negative talks and controversies surrounding the church, how it operates. We heard from the Minister of Police yesterday that they look at this church as a church or as a gathering of people who are practicing satanism and hypnotizing people to do unbecoming things. And what do you want to say on that?
Okay, on that, One, we are not hypnotizing people. The people who came here, they are the people who were following my father. And we don't have any new member that came. Everyone who was living here was the people who was following my father. And the people who gave out their money, their understanding was that they are supporting Mangoba, my father, in other words. They said, because we were told that we must stay here for 3.5 years, then from here we'll be moving to the other places.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the keeping of people here, I mean, your mom yesterday, I spoke to your mother yesterday, you told me that there were about 200 and more people who were staying here. How is it possible to have so many people living in the church?
People, they forced the way to stay here. We even built a shack because they want to be here. But they were, I think they were about 140 now, because others went to work, others they were on leave, according to my knowledge. So we were about, I think 145, if I'm not mistaken, yes.
Okay.
So they were living here in the understanding of their supporting Mr. Mangoba, who passed away.
Right. And the whole thing about children not being allowed to go to school and people just resigning from their workplaces and come and stay here, and what's up with that?
In every January here, we are voicing that whoever wants to go to school must go.
Okay.
Who wants to go to at work can go to work. And then the issue of children, it's not our blame. The parents, they are the ones who come with their children. And Safety of Place took the children.
Right.
So in other words, there were no children at this moment.
Okay.
So Place of Safety took the children away.
All right. From 2016, actually, they came. I know the social development in the province of the Eastern Cape came and took out some of the children that were staying here.
Yes.
And since then, you're saying you never had children after that?
Except mine, I've got a son who was born, he's 1 year, 1.5 years, so yes. And also Thandazile had a son as well, and all of us have children. Yeah. So they were still in the bottle, they were still younger. Yeah.
So is your church a church like in a conventional and traditional sense? A church that practices like Christianity, praise to God? Is that kind of a church, or you use some other means to express your religion?
The church, it's pure church.
Yeah.
We are following the Bible.
Okay.
Even if you can read our writings on the mountains, it's all about God.
Yeah.
And the prayer messages, as well as the prophecy, that's what we are doing. We are going with the prophecy.
Right.
Yes. So there's no such thing that we are practicing Satanism. This thing is not the first time. Before they said my father is burying people inside a tent. So it's some other things are not true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just lastly now, the Minister of Police and the police, they are determined now that this church is not going to exist anymore. From now henceforth, it's closed. They're now going to destroy, demolish it. We saw like trucks that were coming here, ready to move in and demolish the property here. What do you say to that? Are you still going to practice as a church, or are you now going to close the church down?
The church, we are not practicing anything because the police intervened already. So we, as you see, we used to have the tent here.
Yeah.
So we don't have it anything at the moment, and we will listen to God. What must we do? Okay. I think God is the one who has control of everything. But I don't believe this home will be demolished. I don't think that will ever happen.
Okay.
Because
you mean like you will not allow it to happen?
God will not allow it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe that God is the one who will not allow it. Yes.
Okay. So are you still going to do the church maybe elsewhere, or are you now going to close it forever?
My plan was to visit churches, but God said I must wait. I don't know why. And then I don't know what we're going to do now. Yeah, because our reputation is the one that is bad. So no one wants to engage with us at the moment, yes. Tell
me about your 3 brothers that have died, killed by the police in here. What's going to happen? When is the funeral for them? And how are you going to handle that?
Okay. The first one, who's the oldest, is Xolisa Mangoba. And then it's Thandazile Mangoba and Philile Mangoba. What we are going to do, we will burn them in East London.
Okay.
Yes. So we normally don't have a formal, a funeral. It's gonna be like everyday business.
Okay.
We as we did to my father. So there's no way that we are going to do a big funeral, no.
Okay. When is going to be that?
Firstly, I need to have some documentation starting from tomorrow, and then we must meet the forensic to identify the bodies. And then from there, I will see when to go to East London. But we want to burn them. For the
So, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Well, that's the leader of the Manqoba Angels Ministries, the church that is here in Engcobo, that is now implicated in the tragedy that happened with the killing of the 5 police officials in this rural town, and expressing their view in terms of how they feel about that incident and their plans going forward. With that, it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much. ENCA's Tammy Dixon there speaking to Banele Manqoba. We go for a short break now. We'll have more news when we return.